Put your makeup on, get your nails done, curl your hair, run the extra mile, keep it slim so they like you. Do they like you? Get your sexy on, don't be shy, girl, take it off. This is what you want, to belong, so they like you. Do you like you? You don't have to try so hard. You don't have to give it all away. You just have to get up, get up, get up, get up. You don't have to change a single thing. You don't have to try. 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 Take your makeup off, let your hair down, take a breath, look into the mirror at yourself. Don't you like you? 'Cause I like you.
Wakey, Marty. Before you come into the office today, pick up a couple coffees, will ya? 3 black, 1 venti latte, 3 pumps vanilla, 2 pumps caramel. You're a gem. Later.
Thanks.
Marty, wake up. Don't you have somewhere you want to be?
Yeah, I gotta deliver this coffee, but I also have to hold open the door.
Look into the glass of your burden. What do you see?
Who are you?
Wakey, Marty. So, this is where you ran off to yesterday? Thanks for holding the door for me. Is that my coffee? God, yeah, it's cold. You were getting so much unpaid overtime.
You know what? Get your own damn coffee.
Hey there, viewers. This week on Drinks, we are making a nice beach beverage. It's called a Malibu Bay Breeze. What you gotta do is put some ice in a nice chilled glass, filled up about a third of the way with Malibu, filled another third of the way with cranberry juice, and top it off with a third of pineapple juice. This beverage could either be enjoyed in the beaches of Hawaii or the comfort of your own home. Wherever you drink it, though, remember to drink responsibly.
Hey guys, welcome to this episode of College Kids Cars. Today we have Adam with a Subaru WRX.
Hey there, thanks for having me.
So Adam, tell me a little about your car.
Well, so this is a 2008 Subaru WRX. I wanted something, that was going to have all-wheel drive for the winter, but also I wanted something that was going to be kind of quick. It could go around a corner, but then also when I did happen to venture off-road, it could handle that too. So I wanted something that was really the best of both worlds.
Tell me, what all have you done to the car yourself?
I first just did the catback, rode out on that for about 8 months, and then decided it was time for a little bit more, and I did the full exhaust from the turbo back. And with that, I did a new intake and a stage 2 tune. And so that really just lets air flow through a lot better. The car breathes a lot happier, revs up faster, and it sounds a lot nicer too.
What else do you plan to do to the car?
There's always a really long list of things once you start modifying your car. The main overarching goal is just to make it as bulletproof as I can. And I also just want to get her looking a little bit nicer, fix some paint spots.
The car looks a lot taller. It's got a better stance than a stock one does.
Yes, sir. Subarus are kind of known for their ability to go off-road, but they're not especially tall. They're kind of limited by their ground clearance a little bit. And so I wanted to fix that, and I lifted it 1.5 inches so that I could fit these bigger tires. With the stock ride height and the size wheels that I had, those wouldn't fit. So I put 15-inch wheels instead of the stock 17, and that allowed me to fit these general grabbers on there.
At the start of this, you told me that you actually put a tune on the vehicle.
Yes, I did. So that just went along with the bigger diameter intake and exhaust, trying to make the whole thing flow better, be able to hang with some of my friends in their cars a little bit more. But as far as what it's making right now, power-wise, I couldn't really tell you. I would like to get it dyno tuned eventually.
All right, Adam, let's look at the back of your car.
Yeah, sure thing.
So looking at the back, it's not a stock spoiler, is it?
No, it's not. So this is the size spoiler that comes on the newer WRXs and the STIs. The spoiler that came on this car was really small. I ordered this one. When it arrived at the house, it was carbon fiber, which was a shock to me. I was expecting this to be black fiberglass, and so I had somebody set up, a friend of the family, who was going to paint it for me. And so we decided just to paint this outside edge here, so that from the side you can still see that it's the bigger spoiler, but once you get up closer, you can see all this nice carbon on the back.
Seeing that it's not the same year, did it mount the same? Did it bolt on?
It did, yeah. Thankfully, Subarus are made to be a lot like Legos. You can take parts from different years, different cars, and just pop them on for the most part.
Why don't we take a look at the inside?
Yeah, sure thing.
I see it's a 5-speed manual, and you got the e-brake right where it's easy to get to.
Yep, exactly. It'd be kind of nice if it was a 6-speed on the highway.
Yeah.
It runs at about 3,000 RPM at 75, so it'd be nice to drop that back a little bit, but the 5-speed does have longer gears, so when you are really pushing the car, you don't have to shift as often, and that's kind of nice too.
Why do you like driving this car?
Honestly, it's just a lot of fun. Every part is something that I've researched a lot before putting into it. And so I can now really appreciate those things as I drive around. I like being able to hear the turbo spool up more. I like the exhaust note that it makes. I'm happy with the way that it handles. I would say this car is something that I've really made my own. I've done kind of a lot of work to it, and it just makes it a fun car to drive.
How's Captain Sunshine this evening? Bernie. You know I got skipped for that promotion. It's Detective Sunshine.
Don't call me Bernie, detective.
Fine, Bernadette. What are you doing out so late?
I just got out of the game, and you should have stayed at that desk job. Would have given us more time, Eddie.
Crime doesn't sleep.
Neither did we.
You had all those medical books.
And you had all those cases. Besides the late hours, the biggest difference in my line of work is I'm not at risk of getting shot.
That's why you're going to be a doctor, so you can patch me up.
I don't plan on patching you up tonight. Hey, can I boom square? You should come to Barney's. I'm having a little party tonight, saying my goodbyes.
LA?
Yeah, grad school. So, will you be there?
We'll see what happens.
Hey, Eddie! Stay inside. It's cold out.
I like the cold.
Hey, is that any good? Looks pretty good.
I saw the fuzz through the window.
The fuzz? Go distract him, I'll hide the stuff.
Hey man, you shouldn't be in here without a warrant. I know my rights. Third Amendment.
Nah, man, it's the Fourth. Third is about, like, letting soldiers stay at your house during times of peace.
Oh, so they're just gonna get around it and make the war go on forever.
Nah, man, he's not trying to sleep here. He needs a warrant. Not a presidential decree of wartime quartering of troops.
Shut up, man. How'd you get in here anyway?
I used a warrant, and the door was open.
A warrant for what?
The arrest of Tommy Spade. I got a call from a payphone across the street saying he was here. Say, you boys wouldn't have happened to have seen him around here, would you?
Damn it, my car!
Hey, this is trampling on my Fifth Amendment rights, man.
Smells kind of funny in here. Well, look at what we have here.
Oh shit, Chris.
Else, it's just a bag of grass.
I know, man, but I thought he took it all with him.
Tommy? Where did he go?
Look, man, if I tell you where he went, will you leave us alone?
I'll take that deal.
All I know is that him and a supplier met up here. It got a bit tense from what I heard, but they're going to meet up later.
What did he look like? The supplier.
It's not a guy, it's a broad.
I never thought you'd make it. Everyone's left already.
Sorry I'm late. I had business with Tommy.
Did you catch him?
No. Stole a car and got away.
He got away again?
For now. The kid with the stolen car tipped me off that Tommy's supposed to be meeting his supplier tonight for a meetup.
Don't answer the phone, Eddie. Come with me. Take the position out there. I'll be damned if Tommy doesn't want that shit too.
I'll have you to patch me up.
Make a choice, Eddie. Come with me to California or stay in this cold, godforsaken place.
I like the cold. the supplier, dirtbag. Bernadette?
You always had to choose your work over me.
Stopped into a church. I passed along the way. Well, I got down on my knees and I pretended to pray. You know the preacher like to go. He knows I'm gonna stay.
Hi, I'm Lauren Steffel, and this is Ferris Trolls. Today, we dance! Do you want to dance? Do you want to dance?
No thanks.
Let's dance! Would you like to dance with me? Excuse me, would you like to dance with me? Please? No? You don't want to dance?
Nope.
Let's dance! Come on, let's dance! Please!
I have arthritis.
Okay. I can't either. Just dance. Yes. Just dance. Yes. Would you guys like to dance? Dance. Dance. Would you like to twirl? Yes. Twirl. Oh, twirl around.
We got almost 4 miles in. You want us to dance?
Yes. Yes. Okay, have a good day. Thank you. There you go. Yes. Wow. We can do this.
Okay.
And then we can do this.
Okay.
Yes, it's the perfect cool down for an exercise. You just
I can dance, yeah.
Yes, there we go, and then you just twirl around.
It's like, I don't think so. I can maybe do the Virginia reel or something.
What's that?
It's like you just go on.
And then you can just go like this. Beautiful.
Thank you.
Would you like to dance? Would you like to dance?
Sure.
Yes! Dance with me! Would you dance? Yeah, that's how it goes.
Good luck.
Have a nice day.
See ya.
Bye. Yeah, there we go. Not even a little bit. Not even just like a little.
It's all you.
You can do it too.
I'll do the walk.
Oh, clever. And we can do like a little twirl. All it took was one shot sachet, and then you could have been fine. And you can do like a little dip. I'll dip you. There we go. Thank you. Thank you. Nailed it. I don't think I've ever felt more inspired to pursue dance more in my life. But I'm Lauren. This was Ferris Trolls. See you next week.
Mecosta County is not just a stop in your life. It's a place you can live forever. With our abundance of manufacturing opportunities, you can have a stable career no matter which path you take. The first path is in high school at the Mecosta Osceola Career Center. Take classes that allow you to enter the manufacturing field right out of school. The second path is at Ferris State University, where you can earn a certificate, associate's, or bachelor's in the various manufacturing fields. Manufacturing in Mecosta County includes jobs with Ice Mountain, Bandit Industries, Simon's International, Hamtech Incorporations, US Marble, Wolverine Worldwide, and Hayworth. With all the manufacturing opportunities in Mecosta County, why leave the place you already call home?
Hey baby, wake up from your asleep. We have arrived onto the future and the whole world is become electronic, supersonic, supersonic, electronic. Hey baby, ride with me away. We doesn't have much time. My blue jeans is tight, so onto my love rocket climb. Inside tank of fuel is not fuel, but love. Above us, there is nothing above, but the stars above.
All systems gone. Prepare for down count.
5, 4, 3, 1, off blast! Fly away in my space rocket. You no need put money in my pocket. The door is closed, I just lock it. I put my gold plug in your socket.
The sun and sky is bright like fire.
You and me gets higher and higher.
Cut up communication wire.
Only thing can stop us is flat tire. Hey love crusader, I want to be your space invader. For you I would descend the deepest moon crater. I is more stronger than Darth Vapor. Obey me, I is your new dictator. For you is Venus, I am Mars. With you I is more richer than all the Tsars. Make a wishes on a shooting stars. Then for you I will play on my cosmic guitars.
Ladies and gentlemen, fasten your belt seats. We has commenced our descent. I trust you enjoy this flight as much as you enjoy this accent.
Now back on Earth, it's time for down splash. Into sea of eternal glory my spaceship crash. People have arrived for to cheer me from near and far. And as I float, I open door and shout, I am world's biggest washed up superstar.
wasn't needed. Oh.
The way that ball has been zipped around the bases so far, the dazzling infield plays both teams have been pulling off, and the great running catches of long flies the outfielders.
The village of Sheridan, population 651, nestled in the bosom of rural western Michigan. There's something about the history of Sheridan that most people don't know, something lost to almost all history and record books. That forgotten history is the story of Edson Marshall Hemingway.
I've been researching Ed Hemingway for 3 years, and it all stems from a story that my grandfather, Fred Thayer, told me when I was a kid. That there was a professional baseball player from Sheridan, which no one in Sheridan had ever heard of. In the end, after doing a little bit of research, 30 some odd years later, after he told me that story, I realized, because of the internet, that there was a professional baseball player named Ed Hemingway from Sheridan, Michigan.
Ed was born on May 8th, 1893, in Sheridan. He was the only son of 3 children to Arthur and Kitty Hemingway. Arthur was a banker who had a job offer in Ionia, a city 16 miles south of Sheridan. Ed would have been around 8 years old at the time. 1912. Edson starts his professional baseball career for the Lansing Senators while still a senior at Ionia High School.
At the turn of the century and right up until the 30s, there was very little action in what you call men's league that wasn't almost professional, okay?
At the end of the 1913 Senators season, Ed was drafted by the St. Louis Browns.
So in 1914, Ed's first year in Major League Baseball, spring training, his manager is a famous manager in Branch Rickey. Branch Rickey was a strong supporter of bringing African American ball players to Major League Baseball, and he was successful in achieving that goal when he brought Jackie Robinson to the Brooklyn Dodgers.
Ed was sent back to the minors to play for the Birmingham Barons.
Ed Hemingway in 1915 played a number of exhibition games playing against the Pittsburgh Pirates and Honus Wagner. Ed Hemingway, born in Sheridan, Michigan, caught a fly ball that was hit by first-round Hall of Fame inductee Honus Wagner. I love that story.
Sunday, August 12th, 1917. The Houston Post declares, Hemingway sold to New York Nationals, aka the New York Giants.
He gets an opportunity at the end of 1917 to continue his baseball career at the Major League level, and this might be his chance.
100 years ago, the Giants won the 1917 pennant, with Edson playing the final 2 weeks of the season. New York Giants play the White Sox in the 1917 World Series. Edson would not play during the 1917 World Series, only exhibition games.
Even though he's not an official on their official World Series roster, we have records showing and proving that he was in Chicago with the New York Giants during the World Series versus the Chicago White Sox. His teammate for those 2 weeks and then during the the World Series is U.S. Olympic champion Jim Thorpe.
He went on to win a number of gold medals in the 1912 Olympics. There was a fellow who ran the Olympics for almost 50 years who found out that he played professional baseball and took all of his medals away from him. Interestingly enough, his son, he was chief of their tribe when I met him in the 80s. in the 70s or 80s, they finally got the Jim Thorpe's medals back.
Jim Thorpe and Ed Hemingway are standing next to each other in every single, or near each other at least, in every single New York Giants National League pennant championship photo that I've found. A boy from a small town, Sheridan, Michigan, could have been Jim Thorpe's a friend. They had to have gotten along. I truly feel it in my heart. In one of the photos, it appears as if he's got his hand on Jim Thorpe's hip, as if, a celebration. He just happened to have his hand on his hip. I hope that Jim Thorpe and Ed Hemingway were friends.
Hemingway left Saturday to join the Omaha team of the Western League.
Ed Hemingway, who had gone to play in the Western League, had abandoned his contract and went to play for a team called Fairbanks Morse, and he played in an independent minor league baseball league towards the end of 1920. And it was during that time period, Ed plays against the Decatur Staley baseball team, owned by A.E. Staley. During those games, a young George Halas, a founding member of the National Football League, George Halas, Chicago Bears owner, George Halas, who was the athletic director and a player for the Decatur Staley baseball team. I think he probably sees Ed Hemingway playing, because they played against each other, decides that he wants to sign Ed Hemingway for the 1921 season, makes an offer. Ed goes to play for the Decatur Staleys in 1921, which then puts him in Decatur, Illinois, during the time period in which the National Football League is being developed, playing for the same organization that George Halas is a member of himself. But I like to think that at some point he sat down and had discussions, or overheard discussions, that George Halas had, talking about the development of the National Football League.
In 1922, Ed was sold to the Pacific Coast League. He played for multiple teams, most notably the Los Angeles Angels. These were his final years in baseball.
Well, Edson is the everyday kid that wants to play baseball, tries really hard to play baseball. Many young people today that don't know or understand what baseball was in American history right up into the 60s. Baseball was the American sport. Football and basketball were not. Baseball was something you and your buddies could do in the summertime. You pick up your bat and go find a playground, find a field. If you don't even have a whole bunch of people, you can get together, 2 or 3 of you, and play 1-on-1 or 500.
Ed was in all these different places, and I think to myself, money aside, you want to play professional baseball, you want to be able to pay your bills, you want to be able to make money at it, but I don't think Ed had any regrets looking back. He may have been frustrated from time to time, but the stories and the life experience that he had, the people that he met, I would think that made up for not being able to make a lot of money playing professional baseball. I am 46 years old, and my entire life, including a lot of other people in Sheridan, they had no idea that Ed Hemingway was buried in Sheridan, Michigan, a professional Major League Baseball player.
Hey there, viewers. This week on Dranks, we are making the Shark Attack. What you gotta do is get an ounce of grenadine and an ounce of cherry-flavored vodka, put them in a shot glass together, put another glass over it, and flip it over. Then in a separate glass, you're gonna mix together an ounce of tequila and an ounce of blue curacao. Next, you're gonna add an ounce of Sprite on top, pour it into the glass, and let the frenzy begin. I know you can't wait to sink your jaws into this beverage, but just remember, it has a bite, so don't forget to drink responsibly.
Don't stop. Don't stop. Don't stop. Don't stop. Don't
Don't stop. Stop.
Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. He's here. 10 minutes late, but he is here. Perfect timing, because I was just in a heated workout, you know? Phew! Those weights look so heavy. You look a little sweatier than last week. He's definitely looking at me. I know he is. Look athletic, Lauren. Look athletic. It's just like they say, I guess. The tough ones are the ones worth having. Beautiful, Lauren. You got him this time. Oh my God, are you serious? Ugh, what a waste of my last 6 weeks. I guess I'll go try that cute blonde from Walmart.
It's a no-kill shelter, started about 5 years ago.
We celebrated our 5-year anniversary this October 1st.
They take in dogs and cats. The no-kill part, of course, means that we keep them as long as we can find their long-term home. And it's almost all volunteer run and operated.
We typically have close to 100 volunteers.
We basically have 2 shifts. A morning shift and an afternoon shift, and most people work one or the other.
On the cat side, in the mornings they come in, they clean out the cages, clean the litter boxes, feed the cats.
I work the day shift, so we get here pretty early because we want the space clean and ready for people who want to come in to adopt the cats.
In the evenings, they come in and do a little bit of that and also socialize with the cats and the kittens.
It's basically, you know, the things you would think: cleaning, feeding, making sure the cats have food and water. And there's a lot of socializing with the cats, which is, I think, what draws a lot of us. Because especially if you're a student and you're away from your cat, this is a place to come and you can get your cat fix.
We always have around 25 cats. As soon as one goes out, another one comes in. We do have a cat who's been here about a year, so that would be our longest resident.
He is a really nice cat, but he, he's a little standoffish, but we know he'll find the right person eventually. We've had, experiences like that before, where eventually the right person comes along.
On the dog side, we come in the mornings, walk the dogs, clean their kennels, feed them, walk them some more. And then in the evening, we walk them the entire shift, and then we go in their cages and hug them at the end of the shift.
I love all of them. They're so cute, and there's new ones every week when I come in, so it's good because they go out just as fast as they come in, but I love spending time with the dogs.
The dogs, they're dogs that would prefer not to be here, so they all really need good homes.
There's one that I feel like if I didn't already have a dog at home, I would take her home. Her name's Neptune, and she is the cutest, sweetest little thing ever.
Most of the dogs are strays, so we never know anything about their background. Sometimes their owner surrenders. If the owner can't take care of them anymore, then they bring them to us. We have a volunteer questionnaire that we ask people to fill out to see what their experience is with dogs or cats, to kind of see which side they might do better on.
I actually adopted a cat here before, and then I just filled out the application to see if they needed volunteers, and they do.
Volunteers are always welcome and needed. We have a great group right now.
We just need volunteers. We need people's time.
It's really just letting someone know, calling the office here, letting them know that you want to volunteer.
It's 2 hours out of your day to just come in and walk dogs.
I know that Kate puts out on Facebook when there's certain things we need, like food and litter.
I know that the ARC has a Facebook page that they put on requests, like what they may need. They say, oh, we're getting low on puppy chow, so just seeing what they need, and then people can just drop it off anytime they're open.
We are closed on Mondays. Tuesday through Friday, we're open from 9 until noon. Thursday evenings, we're open 5 until 7. Saturdays, 10 until 1, and Sundays, 11 until 1. And that's when anybody can come in and look at our adoptable pets.
V instead of an L. No, it won't watch her face. Watch her dirty face.
Yeah, this is the other part. They had a demand for a hearing. Judge Harry Gill.
Demand for hearing, what is that?
That they were going to call you in front of a judge. Yeah.
That she was in possession of a needle syringe.
Yeah, that you
that
gave
had
her back.
or was used to administer heroin.
Yeah.
The nightmare no parent ever wants to face. Lori Zilkowski has lived it, watching her own daughter addicted to heroin.
We knew she was struggling with something. We didn't know what. She just wasn't happy anymore. She wasn't happy with the things that always made her happy. And so we sought help for her. And that was senior year. And then it just went from bad to worse.
I remember being anxious before I would go to school, before my volleyball tournaments, if I had to do homework, really about anything. And I began to self-medicate. The first time I used, I was probably 15, just started drinking and smoking weed recreationally on the weekends if there was a party. And then I started doing other drugs like cocaine and MDMA and LSD. And it just made me feel better, you know? It made me feel outside of myself. It made me feel different, and I really liked the feeling of feeling different.
We noticed some changes in her kind of about summer of junior year, and we just thought it was normal teenage stuff.
I remember the first time I snorted heroin. I was about to do it, and I got nervous, and the person I was with said it was just heroin. Like it wasn't that big of a deal. It's just a stronger painkiller. You know, I was doing everything else. Might as well do that too. Initially, it was, like I said, it was just fun to do. It kind of put me in a different place. It got my mind off things. I didn't have to worry about anything. I wasn't anxious anymore. I wasn't depressed as much because I couldn't feel anything. You know, the heroin numbed that out.
And then she started kind of declining in her self-care. She wouldn't take showers for 3, 4, 5 days. She wouldn't put on makeup anymore. She wasn't washing her clothes. Her room got messy. And as a mom, she's our only child, we just thought, wow, you know, the teenager years, yeah, they really change. And so we didn't know.
The first time I really realized it was a problem is when I tried to stop using so I could go see someone in treatment, and I had to pass a drug test. And so I quit using for 2 days, and I couldn't take it anymore. So I decided to pick up again, and I didn't even consider that my tolerance has gone down. So I did as much as I was used to doing, maybe a little bit less. And I don't even remember overdosing. It's just kind of like I fell asleep or nodded out is what they call it.
I remember I was driving down Mackinac Road, and my mom called and said, I can't wake Amanda up. Papa can't wake Amanda up. The ambulance is coming, and there's a needle in the room. And I just remember not understanding what was happening.
I woke up to my grandma and my papa in the room, kind of freaking out. And I told them, like, I don't know what's going on, like, I'm fine, don't worry about it. And the EMTs were already there, so they kind of knew what was going on, but they never would have expected it out of me. It's my little therapy chinchilla. After that overdose, I went into the psychiatric unit in Bay City and was admitted there, but it was never specifically for drug use. When I was there, they put me on Suboxone and a bunch of other psychiatric drugs, and then just sent me on my way. They actually sent me home with the syringe that I overdosed with on accident. And then they tried to cover it up, and I was in Lansing at the time, so they had police come and drug test me because they thought that I was using again, because they gave me the syringe, yeah. And my mom called them, freaking out.
I don't know if your drug test would have been positive. I don't know what would have happened.
It was nice.
I know, but what if it would have been? What would they have done?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't even know where.
Yeah, they took me in the back of a cop car.
I know.
To the closest psych ward in Lansing.
Yeah, crazy. We ended up paying for that.
Are you serious?
Mm-hmm. Yep, that drug test. Yeah.
Right. So I would
I know.
go to like
Crazy. The other thing, when she went in, so when the ambulance picked her up and then they took her to the emergency room and then they admitted her into mental health, she still had on all of her street clothes. She had heroin in her pocket. Didn't check for that. Yeah, I didn't know that until a long while later. I said, what'd you do with it? She said, I flushed it down the toilet. And so the people who were supposed to know what they were doing and helping us didn't.
It was my turn while you're calling labor.
We gotta get some more pictures.
You also a teacher.
She used to love sitting in laundry baskets. Anytime there's a laundry basket or a bowl, and she used to love, Kevin still has those boots. She used to love putting those gigantic boots on, I don't know why.
When she came home from the hospital, she had had a friend who went to Michigan State and he had a roommate bail. And she asked if she could move to Lansing. And we thought that that was a good idea at the time.
I was completely isolated from my family. I lived with the person I was in a relationship with and one of our friends. And at that point in time, I had been using heroin every single day for the past 6 months, a year maybe.
She called in the middle of the night. It was a snowstorm, and she said, I owe a drug dealer money. He said he's going to do what he's got to do, and I don't know what that means. And so my husband and I sat up in the middle of the night and had this surreal conversation. What do you do? Okay, do you call the cops? Well, you can't call the cops because she could be in trouble. And so I did go get money out of the ATM, and I took it down there, and I picked her up.
When I had my mom pick me up, it's because I started shooting up cocaine, and I didn't have any heroin left, and I was just ready to get out of it.
We got her home, and shortly thereafter she started going through withdrawals. And so we took her to Brighton Center for Rehab and dropped her off there. And so she was able to stay there for 12, 13 days, and we knew she couldn't come back home. She couldn't go to Lansing. We didn't want her back at our house because that wouldn't have been good either.
I could have either moved back to Lansing where I was using heavily or moved back in with my parents. And when I was in treatment, I met a friend and he's like, I'm moving to this recovery house in Grand Rapids.
And, you know, I always envisioned like taking your kid to college and how hard that would be. And you always hear parents, you know, crying, leaving their kids at college. And here we are leaving her at a 3-quarter house. And that was tough. Wasn't in a great neighborhood, wasn't a pretty house. It was with a bunch of strangers, and that was tough.
I moved to Grand Rapids, lived in a 3-quarter house for a while, and I got a year clean, and then I relapsed again.
And she went right back into Brighton and stayed again, went back down to Grand Rapids, and then she was in recovery for 13 months, had a relapse, right back to Brighton, and back to Grand Rapids, and now today I think is the 24th. It is. She's 21 months in recovery now. And so there is no magic bullet. There isn't.
I currently work at a 90-day women's inpatient drug and alcohol rehabilitation center. It's called Our Hope. I'm a resident support specialist. People in early recovery, like, they see everything as a new, beautiful thing that they get to experience, and sometimes I forget that. I used to hate my mom completely. We would fight every single day. Every time I saw her, we would fight over really dumb, trivial things. But through that, you know, she's become my best friend. I never thought that I would say that. If I were to tell 15-year-old me my mom would be my best friend, I would think that she's a liar. And if anything happens, I call my mom. If I'm happy, I call my mom. When I get depressed, I call my mom. If I have troubles in my relationship, I call my mom. And I think that's another reason why I had to go through this and why we had to go through this, is that so we could have the relationship that we have today.
Distracted driving isn't... When you drive distracted, you're 400% more likely to cause a fatality. Don't be a killer.
Looking good today, Slim.
Thank you. You too.
I've been meaning to ask. Have you asked your boss if he was hiring?
Not yet, but with me as a reference, I'm sure George will find a spot for you.
Just try not to oversell me or anything. I mean, I want the job, but I want it because I deserve it.
Wait, what makes you think you don't deserve it?
It's not that exactly, I just...
Okay, don't beat yourself up. You deserve it. Trust me. That's what I told him.
Just remember that he's a busy guy. Did you give him my resume today?
Not yet. There's actually a few parts that I wanted to go over before you sent it in.
My resume?
Yeah, there's some parts in there that are pretty fucked up, to be honest.
Fucked up? I've had about a dozen people look at my resume and they all said it was flawless.
Well, that's why you haven't been able to get a job.
I only just started applying for entry-level positions.
God damn it.
Oh my god!
Don't just stand there and get a cup of water. Shit. Looking good today, Slim.
Thanks. You too.
Look, I just want to say sorry for the other day. I actually got you a little something.
Oh. Thank you.